Why do most people never escape the middle class? It's a question that sparks emotion, debate, and often defensiveness. For many, the middle class feels safe, respectable, and stable. It's not poverty. It's not extreme wealth. It's a life filled with routines, responsibilities, and relative comfort. Yet, beneath that stability lies a quiet trap, a cycle that repeats itself generation after generation, a system of habits, beliefs, financial patterns, and social expectations that keep people running in place. The truth is uncomfortable. Most people don't escape the middle class, not because they can't, but because they are conditioned not to. From childhood, we are given a blueprint. Go to school, get good grades, choose a practical career, find a stable job, work hard, buy a house, save for retirement. This script is presented as the formula for success, and for many, it does provide security. But security and wealth are not the same thing. Stability and freedom are not the same thing. The middle-class mindset prioritizes safety over scale, predictability over possibility, and that mindset quietly limits upside. One of the biggest reasons people remain in the middle class is their relationship with risk. Middle-class culture often teaches risk avoidance. Play it safe. Don't gamble with your savings. Don't start something uncertain. Don't quit a stable job. This mindset protects against failure, but it also protects against extraordinary success. Wealth creation almost always involves calculated risk. Starting a business, investing aggressively, learning high-income skills, relocating for opportunity, building something without guaranteed returns. These actions carry uncertainty. Most people are not willing to endure that discomfort. Another powerful force is lifestyle inflation. When income increases, expenses increase alongside it. A raise leads to a nicer car. A promotion leads to a bigger home. A bonus leads to a vacation. Instead of using increased earnings to build assets, many use it to upgrade consumption. The appearance of progress replaces actual financial leverage. Over time, this creates a treadmill effect. Income rises, but so do obligations, mortgages, car payments, private school tuition, subscriptions, dining out. All of it becomes normal. And once expenses expand, stepping away from the job becomes riskier. Freedom decreases, even as earnings increase. Debt is another silent anchor. Credit cards, auto loans, student loans, mortgages. Debt is normalized in middle-class life. In many cases, it's considered responsible, but debt limits flexibility. It locks people into monthly obligations that must be met regardless of economic conditions. When debt is high, risk-taking becomes terrifying. You can't experiment when failure would mean losing your home. You can't start over when you owe too much to pause. Debt shrinks your margin for error, and margin is what allows opportunity. Time is also structured differently in the middle class. Most middle-class individuals trade time for money. They work for wages or salaries. Their income depends on hours worked, meetings attended, performance reviews completed. There's often little leverage. When income is directly tied to time, scaling becomes difficult. There are only so many hours in a day. Wealth, on the other hand, tends to come from leverage ownership, investments, systems, technology, teams. Most people are never taught to think in terms of leverage. They are taught to think in terms of effort. Education plays a complicated role. Traditional schooling prepares individuals to be competent employees, not earners. It teaches how to follow instructions, meet deadlines, memorize information, and operate within structured systems. It rarely teaches negotiation, sales, investing, branding, networking, or opportunity recognition. It doesn't emphasize asymmetric bets or asset acquisition. As a result, even highly educated individuals may lack the financial literacy and entrepreneurial awareness necessary to break out of the income four-time cycle. Social environment reinforces this cycle. Humans adapt to their peer group. If everyone around you values stability, talks about promotions, discusses mortgage rates, and measures success by job titles, it becomes normal. Ambition beyond that can feel threatening or unrealistic. When someone considers launching a business or investing aggressively, the response from peers may be cautionary rather than encouraging. Over time, subtle social pressure nudges individuals back toward conformity. Fear of judgment is stronger than many admit. Escaping the middle class often requires standing out. It may mean failing publicly, earning unusually high income, or living differently from peers. It might involve relocating, changing industries, or rejecting common milestones. Many people unconsciously prefer belonging over breakthrough. They would rather be accepted within their circle than risk isolation while pursuing something greater. Another barrier is delayed gratification tolerance. Wealth building often requires sacrificing short-term comfort for long-term gain. Living below your means, reinvesting profits instead of spending them, working on skills outside regular job hours, enduring years of slow progress before momentum builds. Middle-class life tends to emphasize balanced living. Comfort now, enjoyment now, stability now. While there is nothing inherently wrong with that, extreme financial mobility usually demands imbalance for a period of time. Information overload also plays a role. In the digital age, opportunities appear endless. Crypto, real estate, startups, content creation, trading, consulting, e-commerce, freelancing. The sheer volume of choices can paralyze action. Without clear strategy, people double. They experiment briefly, quit quickly, and conclude that it doesn't work. Meanwhile, consistent focus over years is what typically yields results. The middle class often lacks concentrated exposure to proven wealth-building pathways, relying instead on fragmented advice. There is also a misunderstanding of what wealth truly is. Many equate high income with wealth, but wealth is asset ownership. Wealth generates income without constant labor. A person earning a high salary but spending nearly all of it remains dependent. True escape requires building income streams detached from daily effort. This requires a shift from consumer to owner, from earner to investor. That identity shift is profound and uncomfortable. Comfort is perhaps the most underestimated trap. Middle-class life is not miserable. It provides safety, entertainment, convenience, and relative predictability. That comfort reduces urgency. When survival is not threatened, motivation can soften. The pain is not sharp enough to force change. Many only pursue radical shifts when crisis strikes: job loss, medical emergency, divorce, economic downturn. Without pressure, change feels optional. An optional change is often postponed indefinitely. Another subtle factor is misunderstanding probability. Escaping the middle class is not about one lucky break. It's about increasing odds, learning skills that are in demand, positioning yourself in growing industries, building networks strategically, investing consistently. Most people underestimate compounding, not just of money, but of skills, relationships, and reputation. Small improvements repeated over years can create dramatic separation. But because the progress is slow at first, many abandon the process prematurely. Identity is powerful. If someone identifies as just middle class, their behavior aligns accordingly. Beliefs about what is for people like me shape decisions. Some unconsciously believe wealth is reserved for the unusually talented, the connected, the lucky, or the unethical. That belief acts as a ceiling. Even when opportunities appear, they are dismissed as unrealistic. Internal narratives quietly enforce external limits. Geography can amplify or constrain mobility. Certain regions offer more opportunity, stronger networks, and higher income ceilings. Yet relocation feels disruptive. It may require leaving family, comfort zones, and familiarity. Many choose proximity over possibility. While loyalty to roots is admirable, it can also limit exposure to environments where wealth building is normalized. Another core issue is financial literacy. Budgeting alone is not wealth strategy. Understanding tax structures, investment vehicles, equity, business models, and market cycles is critical. Without this knowledge, even high earners misallocate resources. They may overinvest in liabilities, misunderstand risk diversification, or neglect opportunities for ownership. Schools rarely provide deep practical financial education, leaving individuals to learn through trial, error, or expensive mistakes. Media portrayal of wealth can also distort perception. Success is often shown as glamorous and instantaneous. Overnight entrepreneurs, viral creators, startup media. This creates unrealistic expectations. When real progress proves slower and less dramatic, motivation declines. The middle class often underestimates the grind behind sustainable wealth. The years of obscurity, the iterative improvements, the compounding relationships. There's also the psychological safety of employment. A paycheck feels predictable. Even if it limits upside, it reduces uncertainty. Entrepreneurship and investing involve volatility. Income can fluctuate. Results can be delayed. Many overvalue stability and undervalue scalability. The trade-off seems rational in the short term, but over decades, it caps growth. Another overlooked factor is energy allocation. Many middle-class professionals exhaust their cognitive and emotional energy at work. By evening, there's little left for strategic thinking or side ventures. Without intentional energy management, long-term projects never gain traction. Wealth building often requires protecting mental bandwidth for creativity and planning. Family expectations can also influence trajectory. In some households, stability is the highest virtue. Parents who struggled financially may emphasize security above all else. While their intentions are protective, this can instill deep aversion to risk. Children grow up internalizing the belief that deviation from safe paths is irresponsible. Comparison culture further complicates things. Social media amplifies visible success. This can either inspire or intimidate. For many, it creates a sense of inadequacy or skepticism. They may conclude that extreme wealth is unattainable or requires unfair advantages. This perception dampens initiative. Another pattern is overspecialization without ownership. Many professionals become highly skilled within corporate structures. They are excellent at execution but lack control over equity. Their skills generate profit, but they do not share proportionally in the upside. Without negotiating equity or building parallel ownership vehicles, their ceiling remains defined by salary bands. Escaping the middle class also requires long-term thinking in a culture obsessed with immediate. Markets fluctuate. Businesses fail. Investments dip. Without emotional resilience, individuals panic and retreat. Wealth building demands tolerance for volatility and confidence in strategy. Scarcity mindset can persist even at comfortable income levels. Fear of loss may prevent calculated investment. Hoarding cash without deploying it strategically limits growth. Conversely, impulsive spending driven by scarcity compensation also erodes capital. Balanced financial psychology is rare, but essential. Another critical factor is the misunderstanding of networking. Opportunities often flow through relationships. Many middle-class individuals maintain tight but limited circles. Expanding into rooms where higher-level conversations occur requires intentional outreach and sometimes discomfort. Mentorship, partnerships, and insider knowledge can accelerate progress dramatically. The path out of the middle class is rarely linear. It may involve setbacks, career pivots, or temporary income drops. Without psychological preparation for nonlinear progress, many retreat at the first sign of instability. Tax structures also favor asset owners. Employees pay taxes differently than business owners and investors. Understanding how to legally optimize tax strategy can significantly impact wealth accumulation. Without this awareness, individuals may unknowingly surrender substantial portions of potential capital. Another dimension is skill stacking. Rather than relying on a single expertise, combining complementary skills can create unique leverage. For example, pairing technical ability with communication skills can multiply earning potential. Most people focus narrowly on one domain. Health also plays a role. Poor physical or mental health reduces risk tolerance and cognitive performance. Sustainable wealth building requires energy and resilience over long periods. Finally, belief in possibility matters. History shows countless examples of individuals who transcended starting points, but without exposure to such narratives, people may never attempt the climb. Escaping the middle class is not about abandoning comfort recklessly. It is about understanding the systems at play and making deliberate choices. It involves shifting from consumption to creation, from safety to strategy, from conformity to calculated independence. It requires financial literacy, emotional resilience, disciplined reinvention, and often a willingness to temporarily disrupt social norms. Most people never escape because the middle class is designed to feel sufficient. It rewards compliance, consistency, and moderate ambition. It does not punish mediocrity harshly enough to force transformation, and so the cycle continues. But cycles can be broken. Awareness precedes change. When individuals recognize the patterns, risk, aversion, lifestyle, Inflation, debt dependence, time for money exchange, lack of leverage, social conformity. They can begin designing alternatives. Small shifts compound. A side investment, a new skill, a strategic relocation, a reduction in unnecessary expenses, a deeper network. The middle class is not a prison. It is a plateau, and plateaus are comfortable enough that most choose to stay. Escaping requires climbing again with uncertainty, with effort, with patience. Most people never escape because climbing is optional. Comfort is not painful enough to demand ascent, and so they remain secure but capped, stable but limited, busy but not building. The question then becomes not why most people never escape, but whether you are willing to confront the discomfort required to do so, because the barrier is rarely external alone. It is internal, a set of beliefs, habits, and fears, quietly shaping every financial decision. Change those, and the trajectory changes. Ignore them, and the middle class remains not just a bracket of income, but a lifelong identity.